monogamy is a choice, and if you don't want to participate in monogamy, you should not get married and build your foundation and your principles of your family on monogamy. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I have been working in the mental health field for many years now and counseling victims and perpetrators of abuse. We want to respond to this commenter, and they put this comment on my post, Cheaters Are Bold. If you want to listen to that post, just click on this comment. And I want to make it clear that this isn't any sort of shade or anything like that towards this commenter, because I'm not taking it personally. I just think this comment is really out of place. So when we talk about cheating, if you build your relationship on not being monogamous and you guys come to an agreement and you're both okay with not being monogamous, then that's your business, right? And so that's not cheating. That's an agreement, an arrangement, however you want to call it, that you guys agree to, and you're usually with someone that's in a mutually understood and agreed upon agreement. However, when people bring to the argument that marriages is built, as it stands today, is not really practical, and this and that and the other. That means that you're trying to force your principles on people who don't believe in that. You have people that believe in monogamy, want that, they practice that. That's that's the foundation in which they build their family upon. That's what they are in agreement to when they have children, when they make these commitments, when they buy property, they invest in each other, invest in other things as a couple. So when one person is committing a betrayal and is like, oops, I'm sorry, I lied, I actually don't believe in that. So here's, let's just read this comment. Cheating is merely symptomatic of a bigger issue. Monogamous marriage, as it is practiced today, is not viable. That's not to say that cheating is right, but that it's just too common that people are now cheating, and they go on and on to say that cheating is basically a symptom of what people are being forced to do. It's not practical to be in a monogamous marriage. And this is a thing. Again, I think, it's nothing wrong with that belief, but go practice that with other people who have that shared belief. If you don't believe in marriage, then don't sing a lie and do a whole song and dance and get someone else caught up in it that actually believes and is following monogamous principles. I think I've seen this happen a lot when you have people on these dating apps and things like that are like, they call it ethical non-monogamy or poly or whatever. That's fine if that's what you want to practice. There's apps for people that are poly, but that's not what's happening. A lot of times what you have is you have people that fall into these other categories, alternative lifestyles, that want to bring in or want to sort of change a person that's monogamous beliefs. Like, you need to just try it. You need to come on and stop being so closed-minded, and you need to consider the alternatives. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to be persuaded to try anything different. And that's my right. That's my belief. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that for health reasons. I'm not okay with that for my moral principles. That's just not the way that I'm building my life, and that is okay. But that's when you bring that argument, it's not practical for marriage. It's not practical for you, maybe. It's not practical for the other groups of people that believe in that. But the problem is, when are people that don't believe that marriage is, that you're supposed to be monogamous, when are they disclosing that to the person that is monogamous? They're not doing that. They're lying and they're bullshitting their way through a relationship with someone who does practice monogamy, and they're being secretive, they're hiding things, they're spending money, time, energy with someone else, they're bringing home God only knows what in terms of diseases and things like that. So they're not allowing the person that believes in monogamy to actually consent to it. That is so frustrating, and it really ought to piss people off that this is actually like something that you want to argue about. So, if that's your practice, that's fine, but you need to be open and you need to be transparent. And most importantly, you need to go and practice that with your audience. People that are monogamous, such as myself, such as, people that have been recently cheated on, that's not what they believe in, right? Unless you cosign, right? Unless you cosign and you stay in a relationship with someone who cheats, then you believe in it, right? Because that's basically what you're saying. If you stay with someone who's a cheater or who's going outside of their marriage or their relationship, because then they're no longer a cheater. They're just someone that's going outside of the relationship, looking for other opportunities, and you're okay with it. Your behavior says that you're okay with it if you stay with them and you go through it again and again and again. Whether you're saying, I don't like it, your behavior is actually endorsing and co-signing on their behavior. So I want to put that out there, because that's like something that happens when it's like, people sort of say that, marriage and monogamy, it's not really realistic. Okay, it might not be realistic for you, but it is realistic for me, and that is what I choose to practice. If you choose not to practice that, then you need to stick with your group of people who also choose not to practice it. But very seldom is that the case. I mean, I'm not gonna put everybody in that category, but I feel like when people sort of bring this argument, usually they're trying to convince someone else to go along with whatever they choose, and that's very selfish. It's inappropriate. You find your tribe. If you find your tribe of people who are doing the same thing, we don't have these problems. But the problem becomes when you build a relationship on a foundation of lies. You make promises that only you know that you never intend to keep. That's why down low culture is dangerous. That's why cheating culture is dangerous, because do you understand the amount of psychological damage that you're doing to people who actually do believe in that and who are actually practicing that? It's not like both of you are cheating. It's usually one person that sort of has that. But, and I'm not talking about couples that consent and that are okay with that. I'm talking about people that bring this argument to those who believe in monogamy, who believe in only one person, and who believes that marriage is sacred between two people, and they don't believe in going outside of their marriage. So I want to be clear about that. But yeah, definitely physically, there's so much, just you gotta know who your audience is with this type of stuff. But that's the thing. Is people are trying to be conniving. They're being manipulative, and they're being downright dangerous when they have these thoughts in the back of their mind, but they're lying and telling someone else that they believe something different, and that's not cool. That's not okay at all. So hope to hear you guys' thoughts, and again, no shade to the commenter, but I want to put that out there because I'm pretty sure you're probably not the only person that's going to put something like this. And thanks for putting this. And you guys, if you like this, be sure to follow and share and like for more. Thanks.